This all started when I was 10 years old. It was one of the toughest times in my life. My mom had just divorced my brother's dad, and I was a mess depressed, confused about who I was, going through puberty, and just so lonely. I was living with my grandma because my mom had to work really long hours, and I didn't have any friends to talk to. I felt completely isolated. Then I found something online about Tulpa. The idea is that you can create a real being just by believing in it hard enough. I was so desperate for a friend, I decided to try it. I created one and named him Jeremy. In my mind, he was tall, made entirely of shadow, with these piercingly bright white eyes and no mouth. He was my secret, my constant companion. I poured all my belief into him, talking to him and treating him like he was a real person right there with me. Eventually, my mom got me into therapy. I told my therapist about Jeremy, and she explained that while having an imaginary friend is totally normal for a kid, believing they're actually real isn't healthy. Hearing that, it was like a switch flipped. The belief shattered, and Jeremy just vanished. Or at least, I thought he did. About a year later, weird things started to happen. I'd be sitting in my room and see this tall, black figure just at the edge of my vision. One evening, a neighbor and I were outside, and we both saw a pair of white eyes staring at us from inside the dark garage, way too high up to be an animal. Later that same night, I was trying to sleep when I heard slow, heavy footsteps walking right above my head in the attic. My blood ran cold. There was no reason for anyone to be up there. The most chilling part came when I was 12. My mom pulled me aside, looking really shaken. She told me that for a while, she'd been waking up at night and seeing something standing in her doorway, just watching her. She described it as tall, pitch black, with glowing white eyes. She said whenever she turned on the light, it would disappear, exactly like Jeremy. That's when the question hit me, and it's never left. What if Jeremy was never just in my head? What if my desperate need for a friend didn't create something, but instead accidentally called something? What if I unknowingly bonded myself to a real entity that was just waiting for an invitation? Now, years later, I live in a completely different house, but that feeling of being watched, it never really goes away. Sometimes I tell myself it's just paranoia, a leftover from a weird childhood. But other times, in the quiet of the night, I can't shake the feeling that maybe, just maybe, I'm not really alone. And I never have been. Thanks for listening. If you have any similar experiences, share them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories.